Hello everyone, welcome to Sharmit. From this session, we are going to start another playlist for web development, which will contain all the sessions for CSS or cascading style sheets. So from this session, we will learn about CSS, what is CSS, how we use it, and all the required topic related to CSS. Okay, so throughout the playlist, we will cover each and every required topic from scratch to advanced, or you can say from basic to advanced level. Okay, so don't worry if you don't know anything about CSS. Through this playlist you will be able to understand all the concepts of CSS, and by using that CSS you can easily create your web projects. Okay, but before we start the playlist, I would like to recommend you to please go and check out the previously released playlist first, that is HTML, because we all know for web development both these are the two things that every developer should know, like HTML and CSS. So HTML we have already covered, where we have covered more than 180 plus sessions, 89 plus sessions, which covers all the required information for HTML basics to advanced. Okay, so you can just quickly watch that playlist, and after that you can start from this CSS playlist. Okay, because now we are just focusing on the CSS part, but prior to that you should know what is heading, what is this h1, what is body HTML, because these things are part of the HTML and it is already covered, right? For now we are just focusing on the CSS or cascading style sheets. Okay, fine. So I think now we are good to start the session. So here you can see I have just noted down some comment line in the body of the HTML, where I've just noted few pointer, because I know, like, as a developer you might don't like that much of theoretical things. So what we will do, we will just quickly cover all the required theoretical concepts in this one session only, and then later on throughout the playlist we will discuss only the practical things or practical examples. Okay, so today what we are going to cover in theoretical area, the first thing we will discuss what is CSS, the definition of CSS, because before learning about any technology we should know what exactly it is. Okay, so we will discuss what is CSS, and then later on for the second point we will discuss all these 9 points which will prove why CSS is important or why to use CSS for web development. Clear? So these are the two things that we will be discussing in this session. But don't worry, if you are preparing for any interview, by going through these concepts you will be able to easily crack the interview, because we will be covering all the required topic here. Clear? Fine. So let's start from the definition itself. The first thing is, what is CSS? So if someone asks you what is CSS, so you can simply say that CSS or cascading style sheets is a style sheet language used for describing the presentation of a web page. Okay, so in a summary way you can say that yes, it is a style sheet language which helps us to prepare and present the thing on a web page. Now the question comes, like, what exactly CSS do? So it basically controls the layout, design and appearance of a HTML element. Okay, CSS also allows developer to style multiple pages consistently and efficiently. Okay, so if you are working on a style, like if you are working on a project, for sure there might be multiple pages and websites, right? So on that case, like, CSS will allow developer to style multiple pages consistently and efficiently. It also works a lot, because we all know that CSS is something that works aligned with the HTML. So it works alongside HTML and JavaScript to enhance the user experience. JavaScript we have not covered so far, we have just covered the HTML part, but don't worry, after learning about the CSS we will also cover the JavaScript as well. But for now we will just keep it in a mind that yes, CSS works alongside with HTML and JavaScript just to improve the user experience. Okay, now the question comes, how many ways are there through which we can apply the CSS? So there are mainly 3 ways through which we can easily apply the CSS on a website. The first thing is inline CSS, second is internal CSS, and the third one is external style sheets or external CSS. Okay, so there are 3 main ways through which we can apply the CSS, and we will be discussing each and every way to apply the CSS, and I'll also show you the differences and impact of the different type of ways of different types to apply the CSS. Okay, so I think with these pointer it is clear like what exactly the CSS is. Now we will discuss the purpose of CSS. For that we will discuss this question, why use CSS, and will answer the thing according to these 9 points. Okay, so let's start from the first itself, that yes, the first pointer says it improves website design and user experience. So yes, it is true, CSS improves website design and user experience by allowing customer to customize, by allowing users to customize fonts, colors, background and layout. Okay, then the next thing is it enables animations, hover effect and transition for a dynamic user experience. So if you are working with the CSS for your project, yes, it will allow you to apply different kind of animations, hover effect. Suppose there is a button on your web page, so whenever you take your mouse on that button, it will show you some effect, it will do something as an animation or something, so that is considered as a hover effect. We will see like how to implement this hover effect. Okay, then the next thing is like separation of content and design. So yes, HTML focuses on structure, because we all know that HTML is mainly used for the creating the structure of the website. So it uses headings, paragraphs, links and images. Then what CSS will do if we are using it with the HTML? So HTML will create the structure and CSS control how these elements appear, like color, size, alignment, position. So these all things are covered by the CSS. Apart from this, CSS also makes it easier to update styles without modifying the HTML structure. Suppose you have created one project and you have defined all your structure of the HTML, but later you decided to change few things. So in that case, there is no need to change the actual structure of the website. Instead of that, you can just simply change the CSS file to make the changes throughout the project. Okay, then the third point is faster page loading speed. Yes, if you are using CSS, it reduces the repetition of style rule across multiple pages. So there is no need to go and different pages to check whether the impact like to modify anything, because if you are using one common CSS file, then in that case there is no need to make the changes in different files. Okay, using external sheets like external CSS that we will be discussing, it ensures the efficient loading. Yes, if you are using the external, so external file is created with the .css extension, so we will see like how we will create that. But yes, if you are using CSS, it will improve the loading. It loads the page faster with a faster speed. Then points come responsive web design or RWD. So what is the RWD? So RWD is mainly for, like we all know that website responsive means that website must work on different devices like mobiles, tablets, desktop. So CSS media queries help create flexible layout that adapt to different screen changes. Okay, so it is clear that yes, if you are using CSS, it will help us to create the responsive web design. Then fifth point is consistency across multiple web pages. Yes, so using a single CSS file for multiple pages ensures a uniform style. Okay, it helps to maintain branding by applying the same fonts, color and spacing across the website. Then we have sixth point, easier maintenance and scalability. Yes, because now if changes is made in one CSS file, it will automatically apply it to all those linked pages. So because of that only, it's very easy to maintain as scalable, maintain the project, because it provides a scalability, as there is no need to change on there is no need to implement changes on multiple pages. That's why it saves the time and effort, especially for the large websites. Clear? Then we have seventh point, which is cross browser compatibility. So yes, if you are using CSS for designing the things, then there is no worry about the cross browser compatibility. You can easily use your website on different web browser, because CSS help and ensure that web pages look consistent across the web browsers. Like whether it doesn't matter if you are using Chrome, Firefox or Safari or Edge, it will work on all kind of web browsers. Clear? Then we have accessibility. Yes, CSS allows developer to improve readability for user with disabilities also. Okay, so and then the last point is support for modern web design trends. Yes, it enables grid layout, flexbox, animation and dark mode themes also, through which it provides the support for web designing trends. Okay, so I hope this entire session is clear to all of you. And in this session we have just discussed only the basics of CSS, like what is CSS and why do we need CSS. From next session we will discuss other theoretical, we will start from the practical thing and we'll see like how we can utilize the CSS. So yeah, that's all for today. In the next session we will discuss few more things. So thank you for watching Tech Sharmit.